All right, greetings, y'all. Sending some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary, and it is blazing hot over here. So I'm just enjoying some beauty food. Have my fan right here, and I've got these beautiful flowers today. I was talking to some young ladies, a woman and her daughter, who have a farm, and this is actually a type of white ginger. Now I have a red ginger plant that does have a flower on it in my yard. I also have some turmeric out there. However, this one is supposed to be able to be used for soap. So now what's interesting with this ginger flower, it has these other types of flowers around the perimeter. This one it didn't open yet. So these are really pretty. And the fragrance, first of all, it looks like honey, like the stick you would see somebody take and put into honey. It smells like honey and ginger. Oh my gosh. Now, what's interesting about this particular flower, see, this is why I love talking to farmers and just hanging out at the farmers market. And so you got to have patience if you go with me there, because I will walk every aisle, because it's usually certain farmers have a lot of pride about what they're growing. And some people might not be interested in this, but I appreciate these things. Also, if folks know that someone will appreciate these things, they'll have a tendency to put certain things aside for me. So I don't know if you ever seen this in arrangement. This is, look at that. Mother Nature is like, wow. Isn't that interesting? It's like a wand, right? So I have two of them. Now they'd probably charge me an arm and a leg or something like this in the States. So I think I might have paid, this would be a little bit more on the pricey side for here. Would be $5 US for both of these. But they're just so exquisite. It smells like honey and ginger. And I also just cut the first bird of paradise off of my little tree that I had from a little cutting. Now it's going to a gigantic bush. And I just took the first bird of paradise off of it. It's going huge. It needs to be trimmed. And the bird of paradise, I think I've had that plant for like 2.5 years. So this is the first time that it's given me fruit. So I'm going to let y'all see one more time. This is my goodie today. Right. So I usually don't feel to do the typical, and I'm so hot, so excuse me. I usually don't feel to do the typical what I eat in a day videos, because I think I find it was restricting. But it was hot here, so let me show you what I'm eating here. A whole heap of watermelon. Filling, hydrating, good for your kidneys. If it's organic, there's different things that you can also do with the skin, especially if you're paying by the pound. And then all of these seeds, right? I got sugar baby watermelons going right now in the garden. All of these seeds will sprout and it will give me more watermelon. So we want to get the watermelon with the seeds, right? We came from a seed and the egg. And we want stuff that hasn't been so tampered with. So when I think of beauty food, these are the things I think of. And although I'm not going to eat this, the research says that you can crush this into a shampoo. So that should be interesting. So I'm definitely, oh my gosh, look at this. It's so beautiful. I don't want to crush it, but you're supposed to squeeze this in order to get some shampoo. So little things like this and fruit, beautiful fruit, like mamey. I just brought home some mamey, which literally tastes like a sweet potato pie. You just pick it right off the tree and eat it, literally like a nice, juicy sweet potato pie. So I just brought that home. I bought some beautiful pineapples. There are several different varieties of pineapple. Everything is popping off the trees right now. There's an explosion, like just a whole armies of butterflies just gave birth. There's like so many butterflies outside. It's crazy. I thought they were going to start coming in the house. So I know all those caterpillars eating up. Some of them eating up my collard greens. They're coming from the The butterflies are coming from the caterpillar. So things like this are what I consider forms of nourishment, right? There are other ways to nourish ourselves other than just gobbling down the physical food all the time. A lot of time, I would even say that we're actually dried out and dehydrated and eating so much salt and flavoring and dried things that can sit on the shelf indefinitely. And we really need some living water. And as well as what we're ingesting inside, it can be very nourishing to lay our eyes or rest our eyes on things that are very beautiful in nature. Right? It might sound overly simple, but it has a very calming, peaceful, grounding effect, which is why I'm always encouraging everyone to grow something. So something as simple as some watermelon. Notice in your fruit the flavor after a while. You may be able to notice if they're putting compost inside the soil because it will taste totally different. Like if you ever get watermelon or carrots and they're not sweet, usually that says to me that the soil hasn't been nurtured, that folks are perhaps growing things as fast as possible and not taking the time to let the ground rest or to rotate the crops or to put enough nutrition back into the soil. So when I'm looking at beautiful things, in particular things from nature, especially even more special if they're unique, these things I find nourishing. So I invite you to maybe just try and emphasize nourishing yourself in ways that don't require you to chew, right? Things that you can appreciate and just have a very calming effect. That's the effect that nature can have on you. So that's what I'm having today. And being mindful of when you have watermelon, not to mix it with a whole bunch of stuff, because that's a recipe for a big old swollen belly. And we will be going over food combination inside of common sense nutrition and effective fitness. So those are coming up. And before I forget, I have a surprise. So for folks that are over on my Patreon on Body-Culinary that are supporting the channel, there is going to be a monthly food prep party. There's going to be a monthly food prep party. So we're going to be partying and getting down while we are also prepping all those fruits and vegetables. So we're going to do something about all of that beautiful, life-giving produce that you may or may not be letting go to rot in the refrigerator. And just having those kinds of activities and doing them with other people can give you a whole nother experience. So we want to make deposits into our subconscious of a lot of pleasant activities around our lifestyle. Then it becomes something that you look forward to. So it doesn't occur to you as you're dieting. It's like, this is just my lifestyle and I highly enjoy it. So it would be great to make some deposits so you have some good memories to call back on, right? So I just wanted to check in with you folks. Feel free to comment respectfully in the comments. I am looking and reading all of the feedback, which I really appreciate. If you should come across these flowers, take a picture, or you might have some other unique flowers. Oh my gosh, I wish you all could smell this. It smells like honey and ginger. So I was like, this had to come home with me. And there's the added benefit of, this is literal beauty food. So we have the watermelon there, but this can be crushed into a shampoo. So I'm interested to see how much mucilage comes out of it. I'm interested to see how much more of the fragrance is going to be released when I squash it. I almost don't want to squash it because it's so pretty, but I have to see. It has saponins in it, right? That substance inside of soap nuts, if any of you have ever tried out soap nuts, or things that promote lather, but in a natural way. So not as soapy as like a detergent, but it has that mucilage, that soapy kind of substance in it. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to come out. And I'll make an effort to remember to take some pictures, so I'll share them in the community section. So this is Body-Culinary. Feel free to comment respectfully. One more thing before I go. Something I did want to touch on today is I invite you to consider healthy boundaries on the internet, with your spouse, with your children, with everybody. Healthy boundaries are so important I think we owe healthy boundaries to ourselves, right? To establish healthy boundaries, and only you can say what that looks like. So that's a great contemplation before you go to rest this evening. Healthy boundaries. What do healthy boundaries look like? What does that look like on YouTube? Right? What does that look like with your coworkers? What does that look like with your spouse? What does that look like with your children or your young adults? You know, healthy boundaries with strangers. I think is it's very important. I like to be joyous, but also a good dose of common sense is can go a long way, can serve us really well. All right, this is Body-Culinary, and I will see y'all soon. Oh man, almost forgot. Shoot. But people have been asking. So if you want a guide, this is the last thing. If you want a guide, what I have been doing for this going on 12 years, consuming exclusively whole, living, unprocessed foods. Recently, after 11 and a half years, I tried some sweet potatoes, steamed. Not really my favorite thing. But in any event, some people, that may be where you are. But if you want to focus on whole, fresh, unprocessed foods, and you can tweak it however you need to, if you're looking for a different result and you want to see exactly what I've been doing, I took the time to put together a guide with pictures in it of my food and lots of shortcuts to really shorten your learning curve. You can find that over on body-culinary.com. It's available for download, and that can really answer a whole lot of your questions. So I put the guide together because I was thinking, as I was emptying out years ago, all these supplement bottles into the sink, I could have saved myself so much money on protein powders, all these tinctures, if I was just eating whole, fresh, unprocessed foods. So to get that guide with colorful pictures of what I was actually eating, how I was packing my food, all of that stuff, and also, most importantly, my mindset, that's all in Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. So check that out, as well as Natural Beauty, no products. Feel free also to support Body-Culinary over on Patreon. And some lucky supporters are going to get to come to the food prep party. So that's going to be once a month. And then I have a limited amount of spaces for those folks that would like to consult with me privately once a month. So that's going to be over on the Body-Culinary Patreon. Okay. All right, so that's it. I will see you soon, and I will let you know how this goes. I am so curious to see what happens with this as a shampoo. But I'm going to have to let this sit for a while and just enjoy the color and the scent and the visual appeal. All right, see you soon.